I'm sitting at a candlelit table, slicing into a perfect steak, while my wife's off in Italy, toasting her lover with my money and laughing like she didn't just set my world on fire. She thought she could ditch me for a better option and come home to her comfy life. Oh, honey, I sold that life out from under her, and the look on her face was worth every penny. The steak was medium rare, just how I like it, still popping and crackling on the plate like it had something to say. A lone candle danced, throwing shadows across two empty chairs, one meant for my wife, the other for the daughter I raised like my own, though her giggles now rang out from some far-off canal. I carved a bite, chewing slow, letting the flavor linger. Outside, motion sensor lights flicked on in the garden, catching nothing but my solitude. The waiter, a kid with a kind smile, had poured my wine, a fancy bottle I'd saved for moments that actually mattered. He didn't ask why I was alone. Maybe he saw the storm in my eyes, the kind brewed from betrayal, absence, and a silence I'd sharpened into a weapon over weeks. My phone buzzed, a sharp little stab. Another photo, Florence, a gondola slicing through golden water, my daughter beaming in a dress I bought, her joy lighting up the frame. My wife, all smug and glittering, raised a glass with some guy whose face stayed conveniently out of shot. Her caption: "Best birthday trip ever." My 45th birthday, by the way, spent solo with a $200 bottle of Merlot and a steak I barely tasted. I finished the plate, left a hefty tip, why take it out on the kid, and drove back to a house that felt like a tomb for our past. 2 weeks back, they'd flown off, calling it a mother-daughter bonding adventure. Said they needed space, swore they'd FaceTime me from every stop. Guess what? No calls. I sent them cash, watched our accounts shrink, and scrolled through her curated posts. My daughter's smile was everywhere, pure and bright, but my wife? Always just off camera, like she was dodging guilt in the lens. I called, she blamed bad reception. That worked for a day, maybe 2, not 14. I kept everything: texts, receipts, hotel bookings for suites with 1 king bed, never 2. Then came the voicemail, left on my work line by accident. A man's laugh, her hushed voice. Can't talk now, he still thinks I'm with Jessica. I played it in the office bathroom, door bolted, fists clenched, breath tight. No tears, no rage-fueled outbursts. Just me, looping that betrayal until it rewrote something deep inside. I didn't blast her with angry texts or beg for explanations. Nope, I went ice-cold, calculated. Called a realtor, said I was streamlining assets. He didn't ask about divorce. Didn't need to. I packed smart, taking only my stuff, leaving her perfume bottles lined up like relics of a life she burned to ash. Then I did something slick. Bought the house next door, all cash, no fuss. Neighbors didn't blink when the deal closed fast. From my new front window, I stared at our old house across the hedge. It loomed back, empty, like a body waiting for a name. While they snapped selfies in Amalfi, I changed my number, shuffled the joint accounts, left just enough for their plane tickets home. I even forwarded the mail, so I'd see her secret lawyer's divorce papers before she did. She thought she'd slip away clean, no drama? Oh, darling, I had a plot twist ready. They rolled back on a Monday, and I watched from my blinds as their taxi pulled up. Shopping bags stacked high, my daughter's laugh bouncing, my wife's fake, high-pitched cackle, her perfect mom routine, grating like a bad sitcom. They reached for keys, then stopped dead. New locks. For sale sign gone. Their names? Wiped from the deed. A manila envelope was taped to the door, packed with bank statements, her texts, that voicemail transcript, every piece of her lies laid bare. My daughter's face fell, all confusion. My wife. She went paler than a cheap Chardonnay, her smug vibe evaporating. Then she saw me 20 feet away, porch light casting me like the star of her nightmare. I didn't wave, didn't budge, just stared like I'd solved her little game. Hours later she came knocking, alone, hands trembling, clutching those papers. Jessica was at a friend's, probably hiding from her mom's drama. You sold our house? She whined like I'd stolen her crown. I nodded, lit a cigarette. First in 2 years. The smoke tasted like justice. Her eyes scanned me, desperate for anger, tears, anything she could manipulate. I gave her zip. You couldn't even call me yesterday, I said, voice steady as stone. Her mouth opened, but nothing came out. 45 years, I added. Half spent building that home, the other half believing you weren't a backstabbing liar. She inched closer, eyes wet. I screwed up, all right? She pleaded, voice all wobbly. Screwed up. I laughed, low and sharp. Nah, you planned this, princess. I just moved quicker. The porch light buzzed, a dog yapped somewhere. She shoved the envelope at me, like it could undo her mess. I didn't take it. Where are we supposed to go? She whimpered, all pathetic. I let the silence crush her, then said, in a voice that felt foreign, should have thought about that while you were sipping Prosecco with your boy toy in Italy. She'd always been a handful, but now? She was a full-on train wreck with a side of attitude. You're being so extra, she'd hiss, flipping her hair like she was auditioning for a reality show. It was just a trip, chill out, dude. Her sarcasm was next level, every word dripping with venom. What, you think you're some detective now? Get a life, babe, she'd sneer, tossing poor you vibes like I was the one being dramatic. Her cruelty had a new edge, like she'd been practicing her shade in the mirror, ready to cut me down with every snarky quip. The house next door's dead quiet now. They packed up and left the next morning, no knock, no farewell. I sit on my porch some nights, coffee in hand, staring at the empty driveway. It doesn't owe me a sorry, and neither do I. Neighbors nod, keep their distance. Fine by me. People get curious until the silence stares back. I sleep better now, not because I'm whole, but because I know I wasn't the crazy one. She was, thinking she could wreck me and stroll back to her perfect life. New lock on my door, no photos on the walls, one less voice in my head. Happy birthday, I whisper to the night, then snap the blind shut.